can't stop a flood. You get 2 months worth of rain in 2 days, you're not going to stop a flood. You need to be able to manage the consequences of the flood, get people to safe places, feed them, shelter them, and you need to be able to develop a plan for recovery.
Fire Chief John Hay shares some of the outcomes of last year's floods that hit Thunder Bay and the important lessons learned in that situation involving emergency response. It's stories and examples like this that were featured at this year's Northwest Response Forum in Dryden, a 3-day conference geared towards emergency management and helping communities become better prepared for disasters that may affect the region.
Within each community, we have to have an emergency plan. The emergency plan is basically going to dictate what's going to happen in the event of emergency. Dryden saw the chlorine spill a couple of years back. We knew exactly how to react to that incident because the emergency plan basically dictated. We challenge our emergency plan every year. We have to through Emergency Management Ontario to challenge our plan. If it fails, that's okay for us because we're going to learn from why it failed and we're going to make a plan better. And the best thing for it is that we actually get to go and teach the people, the public that are within our community that our plan is now better than it was before, and it makes people safer.
The conference featured over 20 guest speakers involved directly or indirectly with emergency response. From the Ministry of Natural Resources, the Red Cross, Environment Canada, and the Trans-Canada Pipeline, just to name a few. This year's event even brought in Terry Grant, known to most as Man Tracker.
I guess there is some similarities between this and the show I did because you know, the whole thing about tracking people and stuff like that, search and rescue, and how we all interact, the police and stuff. It's all, you know, it's a huge job to go find a person out there. And as a tracker, as a cowboy and stuff, once you got out of the city limits and started leaving tracks on dirt, then I could take over and yeah, away we'd go. But inside the city, that's an urban search setting, and it's a totally different, whole different ball game for, you know, how the police react and how you search and all that kind of stuff.
There's a lot of different organizations that are involved with the Northwest Response Forum. So even though we're professionals in our field, we get to learn how other agencies work, and that's a real key point for us.
These are great events to go to for emergency responders and for the general public. They can learn a lot about preparing yourself and what can to expect when something bad happens, when a big event happens, and that preparation and that knowledge is key to resilience.
At the Northwest Response Forum in Dryden, I'm Tommy Johnson.